Hey, it's Tom, and another edition of the Story Behind the Car. We're with Jeffrey Smith, and let me see if I can get this without my shadow. We're going to look at his 1959 Ford Ranchero, and I just noticed it says custom, so 292, 200 horsepower. And Jeffrey, how long have you had this Ranchero?
I've had this car almost 2 years.
Yes. And was it in this condition when you got it?
Yeah, the exterior was in the condition. I've done mechanical work to it.
Okay.
But the car was painted, and it's the way it was when I bought it.
And I'm going to just wander around and look. So what drew you to the Ranchero?
Well, when I was a kid, my grandfather had a 1959 Ford retractable, the same color.
Yeah.
And I inherited the bike that's in the back of the car here, and I thought it would be cool to have a classic car to haul the classic bike around. And I just happened to find the Ranchero that was the exact same two-tone color combo as my grandfather's 59 retractable.
Okay. That retractable is amazing.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. We had a lot of fun when I was there. In fact, the very first car I ever drove at 14 was the retractable.
Yeah. So we're in St. Louis, and my dad, he's dead, but he worked at a bank in the city down by St. Louis University. And there was a woman that I used to cut her grass when I was 15, 16. She had two 59s. She and her sister, she was from a family of like 9, but everyone else died except for her. And she lived in U City, and she had two 59s.
You don't see many 59s in this area.
No. And original 3-speed?
No, it's not. It was a 3-speed, 3 on the tree.
Okay.
With the Ford T5 transmission that was originally in it. Somebody converted it to the Hurst floor shifter.
Okay.
In there, and the transmission that's in it now is not the original transmission.
Okay.
And I've upgraded the clutch, flywheel, all the linkage, everything. I've upgraded that in the last year.
Is it still a 3-speed door?
It's still a 3-speed.
Okay. Do you mind if I open the door?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I'll let you open it. I wasn't going to bang the car next to you, but I just, this way I can shoot it. Boy, oh boy. Let me see if I can get the sun out of the way. It is in just amazing shape. And you said you've done some mechanical, anything on the inside at all? Or?
Yeah. So the plans for this upcoming year in the winter when it goes into storage is redoing the bench seat because the cushions are all squished.
Okay.
And so I think, and there's some springs that are broken.
Yes.
So I'm going to take the bench seat out, redo that, and then put black carpet in there.
Okay.
And then that'll probably be the extent of the interior work that I do too.
Yeah. Yeah, those springs in the seats, when they start poking through, it's uncomfortable.
No, I sink down about a foot. So
Okay.
I look about that tall in there.
Yeah. I'm just going to slide to the back, and then we can talk about your bicycle as well. Boy, it is just a beautiful, beautiful vehicle.
Thank you.
And I'm going to slide to, well, I guess I can, bicycle. So can you tell me about your bicycle?
The bicycle is 1935 Elgin Bluebird. There's about 100 restored in the world. And this was my grandfather's original bike. When he was 12 years old, he purchased this for his paper route in southern Illinois. And so right around World War II, government was collecting bikes for scrap metal.
Yeah.
He hid the bike in the barn.
Good for
And then
him.
he got it back out of the barn in the late 70s, restored it again in 1980. This was the original French blue and red color scheme that he restored it to. The seat is off of the 1937. I cannot find a 1935.
Is this a storage or?
Storage. There's a battery that goes in there, a large D-cell battery that runs the horn and the light.
Okay.
That are on it. I do not have a battery in there, but it also has a speedometer that is fully functional when I have the cable attached.
And it was by Sears?
Yes, Elgin Bluebird was a brand you could buy through the Sears catalog.
Okay.
And so in today's dollars, this bike would cost you about $1,000.
Wow. And he got it for his
He bought it for his paper
route
when it was 2 years old. So he bought it used for about $30 in 1937.
Okay.
Everything on here that except for the kickstand is what came on the bike.
Boy, that's an interesting sprocket, or not a sprocket on this side.
That's the basket for the speedometer.
Oh, okay.
So the speedometer cable comes out of this hole, so it runs through the tank frame.
Yeah.
Comes out. There's a bracket, and then there's a little spindle that attaches to the basket down there. It's very unsightly.
Yeah.
So I don't leave the cable on it because it takes away from the lines of the Art Deco design lines of the bike.
It has wonderful lines.
Yeah.
And just the nameplate, and then the headlight,
Yes.
and then the.
One of the last few tank bikes where the tank was integrated in as part of the frame. So
Okay.
that structurally is part of the frame. After 1935, the later 38s, 39s, 40s, the tanks were bolt-on.
Bolt-on, yeah. Beautiful, beautiful bike.
Yeah.
And I love the Art Deco of the pedal, too.
The teardrop pedals are easy to find in good shape.
And I'm sure they're not cheap.
They're not. There's a lot of reproduction out there, but these are the pedals that were on the bike.
Okay. And I'd like to talk about the bike when we get to the other side as well, but I'd like to also ask you about the bed of your truck.
So the bed of the truck, I put the wood panel in here and I hinged it to have access to the spare tire.
Okay.
Ford covered this up in the Ranchero when they designed the Ranchero. They used their station wagon platform, and so the footwells and the spare tire well are still there from the station wagon design.
Okay.
They covered it up. I wanted access to it for storage, so I had this is white maple and oak, built hinged so that I could store my cleaning supplies or whatever. Plus now I have easy access to the fuel sending unit that's right underneath here.
Okay.
I don't have to take the metal plate out to get at it mechanically.
So was the original metal floor, was it hinged, or
No,
was it?
it was not.
Wow, so that was just empty space.
Ford just covered it up.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yes. And you'll talk to most 50s Ranchero owners are like, we need access to this.
Yeah.
Space here. But I see very few that hinge it. So probably in all the time I've owned this, maybe a half a dozen Rancheros that have been hinged.
Yeah.
They have access.
As long as you're not off hinged, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and slide around to the back again, and you close the tailgate so we could see that. And
Yes.
so I was telling you about a 65 Ford wagon I had. It was a little two-door, but the seat had the steer all throughout the seat.
Yeah.
It was really pretty.
Yeah, they used that theme for a long time. I did do the dual exhaust.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't talk about your engine much. I'd like to get up there.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Man, just beautiful lines.
Yeah.
Just the back end. And then the tail lights remind you of the Jet Age.
Yes. And a lot of guys, there's a lot of cars from the same year, Buicks, Cadillacs. Their taillight assemblies that match that same circumference. So you'll see a lot of them that have been customized slightly with fancier taillight assemblies or whatnot that fit.
And is it okay if I open the passenger door? Now that nobody's parked next to us.
Right.
Oh, and it's got the key on this side.
Yes.
It's amazing how later years the manufacturers stopped putting a key on the passenger side for expense.
Yep. And the keys are not interchangeable. There's one for ignition and one for locking the doors.
Yeah, Ford had that, I guess, up till maybe the 80s or so.
Yes. Yeah.
Just a beautiful, beautiful vehicle. Amazing how much room is in the back seat. Is that where your spare
Yes, that's
would
where
go?
Ford put the spare tires.
Yeah.
And it goes back a little bit further, but I don't carry the spare tire.
Yeah. And I'll let you close the door just because I'm sure you're kind of particular about it. Very tight.
They are. Somebody did a good job.
Yeah, and I love the mirrors on the fenders.
Not very functional, but they look cool.
Yeah.
They're
So it's a 292,
292, yes.
and 292 sounds small in today's standards, and I saw that it was 200 horse.
Yeah.
How does it handle as far as the weight of the car and the engine?
It's a good cruiser.
Yeah.
The back end's not heavy, so if there's a little bit of moisture on the ground, I can chirp the tires in all 3 gears.
Yeah.
Still, but it does rev high in third gear. So a lot of the options that year either had an overdrive in the Cruise-O-Matic or the Ford-O-Matic automatic transmissions, even if they were three speeds.
Yeah.
To kind of give some relief to that high revving. But it handles 75 miles an hour like a champ. You hear the whine.
Yes. And it looks like an aluminum radiator.
Somebody upgraded it in the last 20 years to a larger aluminum radiator.
Okay.
I have zero problems with overheating.
Yeah.
That was common.
That was going to be my next question.
And I
Yeah.
hear, you know, car club guys that's one of their complaints is wanting to upgrade that.
And it looks like it has large horns. Are those the original horns?
Yes.
I love the old 50s and 60s horns.
It is the original 292, but it has been rebuilt sometime in the last 25 years.
Okay.
Obviously not the original air cleaner, but I wanted to you know, dress it up a little bit with the valve covers and the air cleaner.
Yeah, and I saw that you had Holly on the...
I did. The Autolite carburetor that was on here was in bad shape.
Okay.
So I still have it, but I swapped it out for the Holly. I probably got a few more horsepower out of it. I don't know. I'm not going to dyno it to figure it out.
Yeah.
But night and day difference in how the car ran, and it's made a difference in performance.
Oh, and here's the information about your bicycle.
Yes. Yes.
Very nice.
All the trim is original on it. I haven't had any reproduction trim added.
Yeah.
The bumpers are original. All the light assembly, stainless steel, original. Wipers work.
Boy, look at that grill.
Yeah.
At first it looks like it's dented, and then you look at it and that's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a star pattern grill that they had.
Yeah.
Not easy to find, in good shape.
I would imagine not. And what I loved about the 50s and 60s is everything was designed by people with eyes as opposed to a computer.
Yeah.
So it was really, really a unique design. I mean, that grill is a perfect example.
Yes.
Someone had that idea and had to sell it to the higher ups.
They did.
Good for them. And I just want to look at your bike again before we wrap things up from this side. Oh, wow, look at that. That is really beautiful too. Yeah. Everything about it is just a work of art, and I love the swoop of the fender in the back.
That is a skip tooth chain sprocket, which is unique to that era of bikes.
Oh, so instead of having another tooth there,
it's called a skip tooth, and so the chain has been replaced, but it is an OEM chain out of a box that I bought from a guy.
Okay. That
was specific, period correct. So that chain is actually from 1935.
Wow.
But was in a box for 60 years.
And what is the benefit of a skip tooth?
I can't answer that. I don't know. I don't feel a difference if you ride the skip tooth or you ride the 59 bike that I restored to match the car.
Okay.
It's a regular sprocket chain.
Yeah.
And I don't feel a difference in it. But I don't ride it, so I can't tell you there's any performance or specific difference in how it feels.
And is that the speedometer?
Yes, it is.
And look at the shark fin or shark gills, I guess.
Yes,
Well,
it's
Jeff.
Very unique.
Yeah. A unique vehicle and a unique bicycle. Thank you so much for showing it to us.
I appreciate it. Any attention she can get is always welcome.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, but thank you again, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Thank you.